Shaanxi's Xi'an political earthquake. Party Secretary Fang Hongwei taken away, CPPCC Chairman Yu Huafeng reported missing. Even more shocking, rumor says Hu Jintao's son, Hu Haifeng, will be airdropped to Xi'an as party secretary. Xi Jinping's home turf splits, while the military faces a "everyone must pass inspection" storm. Is the Tuanpai resurgent, or is she forced to compromise? Don't miss the next drop, subscribe and hit the bell. Xi'an, Shaanxi, another major shakeup. Former Municipal Party Secretary Fang Hongwei has just been taken away, and now CPPCC Chairman Yu Huafeng is reportedly missing, sending the entire officialdom into overnight turmoil. At this critical moment, an unexpected name surfaced: Hu Jintao's son, Hu Haifeng. Yes, the Red second generation, said to have had his career shelved for years, is now rumored to be airdropped into Xi'an to take over this vice-provincial city. As soon as the rumor broke, China's political circles exploded. Some say this is a Tuanpai, Communist Youth League faction, comeback, others believe it's Xi Jinping's strategic retreat under pressure. Remember, Xi'an is considered Xi Jinping's home turf, a symbol of his political roots. If Hu Haifeng truly becomes party secretary at such a moment, it's not merely a personnel change, it's a signal of power reconfiguration. What's stranger is that this is unfolding just after the fourth plenum, with the military still in a "everyone must pass inspection" phase. Politics, the army, and discipline control are all shaking at once, as if the entire system is cracking. So here's the question: is Hu Haifeng's emergence a forced compromise, or the prelude to a Tuanpai revival? Could Xi'an's power quake be the starting point of a bigger internal shift within the CCP? Today, we start with the name Hu Haifeng. On November 7, the CCP officially announced that former alternate Central Committee member, Shaanxi Provincial Standing Committee member, and Xi'an Party Secretary Fang Hongwei had fallen. On November 8, anti-CCP influencer Jiang Wangjing broke the story on X that current Vice Minister of Civil Affairs Hu Haifeng will become Xi'an Party Secretary and Shaanxi Provincial Standing Committee member, and that vetting has begun for Hu Haifeng to serve as Shaanxi Deputy Party Secretary. Current Shaanxi Deputy Party Secretary Xing Shanping might first serve as CPPCC Provincial Chairman. The claim drew immediate attention. Jiang has previously pre-leaked multiple CCP personnel changes and takedowns, some accurate, some not. Why did this rumor shock observers? Because it's highly unusual. By CCP organizational custom, Xi'an Party Secretary is a vice-provincial post. Past appointees almost always had provincial standing committee or vice-ministerial credentials. Hu Haifeng is currently vice-ministerial, but he's neither a Central Committee member nor an alternate member, only a 20th Party Congress delegate and 13th NPC deputy. Under normal procedures, he could become Xi'an Party Secretary, but elevating to Deputy Provincial Party Secretary would be a leap. Then again, under Xi Jinping, breaking norms and leapfrogging are nothing new. Since the 20th Party Congress, traditional personnel rules have repeatedly been broken. She secured a third term as General Secretary and CMC Chair. Former Foreign Minister Qin Gang and ex-CMC Vice Chair He Weidong both leapt 2 ranks at the 20th Congress. Another example is the over 70 Zhang Yoxia, retained as first CMC Vice Chair beyond standard retirement age. In short, in today's CCP power structure, traditional ladders and tenure limits no longer constrain. Jiang claims the plan for Hu Haifeng arises because Xi's brother Xi Yuanping is deeply entangled in corruption cases in Xi'an and Xi'an New Area, causing Xi's core faction to lose initiative over the Xi'an Party Secretary appointment and to tactically retreat. According to Jiang, 3 candidates were considered for Shaanxi Deputy Party Secretary, beyond Hu Haifeng: Chen Zhichang, Inner Mongolia Standing Committee member, Party Secretary of Baotou, and Yi Niuping, Xi'an Deputy Party Secretary and Mayor. Hu Haifeng is listed first. If true, he's the top candidate. Such an arrangement suggests both ongoing factional balancing inside the CCP and possibly another compromise under internal pressure by Xi's team. Notably, in the months leading up to the rumor, Hu Haifeng's public activities were unusually frequent and up-tiered. June, appeared at Shanghai's Lujiazui Forum, co-unveiling the China Capital Market Society with minister-level officials. July, attended the National Xinjiang Parade Work Conference. August, accompanied Xi Jinping to Tibet. September, met Turkey's new ambassador to China. October, represented the Ministry of Civil Affairs at a State Council Information Office press conference. Media coverage even placed his name before the ministers, highlighting Hu's remarks. This string of high-profile appearances led many to believe Hu was being repackaged. From central vice minister to local power post, then possibly provincial deputy party secretary, if that channel opens, it would mark another reshuffle in top-level personnel order. In Xi'an, a special city, the implications are particularly sensitive. Xi'an's aftershocks keep spreading. As the Hu Haifeng to Xi'an rumor heats up, the city's power quake keeps expanding. After Xi'an Party Secretary Fang Hongwei was suddenly seized by the CCDI, the city's political circle fell into extreme panic. Jiang Wangjing revealed on X that the CCDI has set up a special task force on Fang. On the night of Fang's detention, provincial and municipal discipline bodies started controlling personnel. Mass arrests began the next day. Nearly 100 people in Xi'an and Xi'an New area were taken away. Meanwhile, CPPCC chairman Yu Huafeng has reportedly taken his own life under pressure. Though unconfirmed officially, multiple sources mention Yu's disappearance. Public records show Yu and Fang are both local Xi'an officials. Yu served as party chief and head of Xi'an New area before becoming Xi'an CPPCC chairman in 2017. Fang moved from Hanzhong to Xi'an party secretary in 2021. Both belong to the core Shangxi clique. Once seen as the twin pillars of Shangxi politics, one is detained and one reportedly dead, signaling an instant collapse of Xi'an's power map. Shangxi has long been seen as Xi Jinping's political homeland and core base. As a Fuping native with Tsinghua background, Fang was considered an important Xi family local support. His fall suggests a breach in Xi's local layout, and it renders the Hu Haifeng rumor even more enigmatic. Jiang further claimed Fang was not Xi's direct protege but rather a henchman of Xi Yuanping, involved in financial and real estate chains in Xi'an New area. If true, the case goes beyond local corruption, touching intra-Xi family factional struggle. This sudden purge, from Yu's abnormal death to Fang's detention, tore open the surface stability of Shangxi politics. With a power vacuum unfilled, Hu Haifeng was thrust into the spotlight. In this chain reaction, Xi'an appears to be the first sample city of political collapse after the fourth plenum. Xinjiang core shock, CCDI chief Jiang Xanjun dies suddenly. As local officialdom shook, another stunning message emerged from the discipline inspection system. Jiang Xanjun, 20th Central CCDI member, Bingtuan, XPCC, Party Standing Committee member, Deputy Political Commissar, CCDI Secretary and Supervision Chief, reportedly died of sudden illness at work on November 3 at age 56. This was only reported 2 days later in a brief XPCC daily notice, under 100 words, saying merely, sudden illness, with formulaic praise that he was loyal to the party and kept highly consistent with the party central. Few believe it was a simple accident. Jiang long served in Xinjiang's political, legal and discipline systems. Since 2016 he served in the region's supervisory organs and, in 2022, moved to XPCC discipline chief. He was a core figure of Xinjiang's disciplinary system and a 20th Central CCDI member. His sudden death shocked the discipline apparatus. Insiders hint Jiang was overseeing multiple XPCC cases, some tied to the anti-corruption drive under Ma Xingrui, removed as Xinjiang party secretary in July, replaced by Chen Xiaojiang. Jiang's death fueled suspicion that it relates to internal purges at Xinjiang's top. Observers recall prior, sudden illness, cover stories, the late 2023 death of Customs Chief Yu Jianhua, and several provincial officials under review. Such illness endings typically seal political events. Jiang's death rattles not just Xinjiang but the CCP's disciplinary system. As the supervisor of supervisors, he embodied the last line of central oversight. Now that line has collapsed, suggesting the security of the discipline system itself is eroding. Insiders say, this is scarier than a general's fall, because it shows even the CCDI isn't safe. XPCC, long one of the CCP's most stable, closed military-civil units, now sees a discipline chief's abnormal death and frequent leadership churn. The CCDI chief's sudden death becomes another sign of deep imbalance in the system post-plenum. Military turbulence, Zhang Yoxia, kingship, and everyone must pass. After the fourth plenum, the military became the other center of political storms. On November 3, the PLA held the first post-plenum propaganda session in Beijing. What should have been a routine CMC deployment became controversial due to the attendance list. Footage shows only 4 CMC top brass present, Vice Chairs Zhang Yoxia and New Zhang Xingmin, CMC member Lu Jinli, and Defense Minister Dong Jun. Former Vice Chair He Weidong has been expelled from the party. Former CMC member Miao Hua also fell. This means nearly half of Xi's hand-picked generals have been purged. At the session, only Zhang Yoxia spoke, seated center stage, other generals sat below. Zhang Xingmin and Lu Jinli sat front left and right, Dong Jun and theater commanders further back. The order was clear but the mood tense. Many note the arrangement effectively fixes Zhang Youxia as the de facto number one in the military. Commentators say he is no longer merely a vice chair but the practical leader. Ex-officer and columnist Du Jing wrote in Up Media that Zhang's posture carries a kingly air, with tougher rhetoric than after last year's third plenum, emphasizing, completely purging two-faced elements, implying ongoing internal scrutiny. Military sources say units are undergoing a campaign dubbed "Everyone Must Pass." All officers from division down to company fill out political loyalty surveys, focusing on ties to Huidong/Miaohua, purchased posts, or use of VPNs. Personnel departments are told to re-audit promotion chains. Anyone whose appointment bore those fallen leaders' signatures goes into rear review. This massive self-examination has created unprecedented tension. A phrase making the rounds: "It's not about corruption now, it's about whether you're loyal." Some theaters have officers signing loyalty pledges. Insiders say, from commanders to NCOs, everyone is writing loyalty statements. Everyone passes means everyone self-protects. Analysts argue this reveals both a discipline collapse and Xi's weakened authority in the ranks. He Weidong and Miaohua were personally promoted by Xi, now branded traitors/corrupt. Meanwhile, Zhang Youxia, a fellow Red Princeling, has grown powerful amid the vacuum. Xi's dependence on Zhang appears unavoidable, perhaps forced to accept his role as temporary stabilizer. But a kingship dynamic is risky. If the military coalesces around an independent leader, the commander-in-chief system becomes nominal. Though Zhang still intones resolutely uphold the CMC chair responsibility system, the command chain is shifting to survival first, not loyalty first. Many believe "Everyone Must Pass" will last months, with another round of reshuffles to follow. One observer familiar with the PLA summed up, "This isn't just a purge, it's the military saving itself. When the top brass's loyalty is suspect, the whole force runs on fear." The CCP nears a critical point. From Xi'an to Xinjiang, from local politics to the military, these seemingly scattered events sketch the same political picture. Post-fourth plenum, the CCP's power structure appears stable, but internal cracks are widening fast. Hu Haifeng being rumored for Xi'an challenges personnel norms and signals the re-emergence of non-Xi forces. Fang Hongwei's detention and Yu Huafeng's reported death leave a vacuum in what symbolizes Xi's home base. At such a moment, floating Hu Haifeng looks like a rebalancing of power. Jiang Xianjun's sudden death strikes at the discipline/oversight system itself. When even the watchers are watched, when a CCDI chief cannot be spared, the power structure enters a cycle of self-audited fear. Meanwhile, military turmoil drives the imbalance to the extreme. Zhang Youxia's kingship and "Everyone Must Pass" show the dilution of Xi's supreme command authority. This time, whether it's Hu Haifeng's rumor, Fang's detention, Zhang's death, or Zhang's ascent, they all point to the same reality: the CCP's power structure is approaching a breaking point.